the guys from Ping, they've kind of shown me how much the equipment matters.
I just love that I can hit any shot I kind of want.
We're going to be able to tell some fun stories about what goes on here to help golfers play better golf.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ping Proving Grounds podcast. I'm Shane Bacon. That is Marty Jertson. Marty, this is the first time in the career of this podcast we had to wait for somebody to get out of high school to do the podcast, which is exciting for us. Mason Howell with us, U.S. Amateur champion. Mason, first things first, you're 18 years old. I know you're, I think, third youngest to ever win the U.S. Amateur. But I was thinking about the golf course rota you're on right now. So we're going to go Oakmont. We're going to go Olympic. We're going to go Cypress. We're going to go Augusta. We're going to go Shinnecock in terms of championship golf before you turn 20 years old. This might be it. I'm not sure it's going to get a lot better than that.
Yeah, no, that lineup of golf courses is unbelievable. I keep punishing myself too. It doesn't seem like any of them. It's not getting any easier. So I don't know what's going on. But no, playing some of these championship golf courses is it's truly special, and I leave for Cyprus a week from today, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
What about tell us a little bit about Oakmont? What your experience was there, what you learned there. How did that help you get prepped for what you just achieved last week?
Yeah, absolutely. Oakmont was hard. So anybody that
breaking news.
Yeah, shocking. No, it was so much fun. I love playing in front of a crowd like that. That was really my first time being able to do that. And there's a lot of support just from random fans and a lot of support from different pros. And I tried to play some practice rounds with some cool people and tried to pick their brains a little bit. But overall, just such a fun week. And wish I would have made the weekend. There's still some shots that I can go back and say, man, I wish I had that back. But that's U.S. Open golf. So it was a great experience, and to go up there with so many friends and family, that made it truly that much more special.
Mason, was there a moment, I'm assuming first tee shot, at a U.S. Open, things like that stand out. Was there just a random moment that stood out to you from the week? You're on the range and Rory walks by, or, you're chipping next to Victor. Was there anything like that where you're kind of looking over going, this is way cooler than I thought it was going to be?
Yeah, so absolutely. I would say the nerves, got less as the week went on. I was really nervous in the practice rounds. That Monday practice round, I guess the first day they let fans on the golf course, I was like, dang, this is real. But no, one thing that really stood out, it was maybe Tuesday. I was putting after one of my practice rounds, and I was on the green with DeChambeau. It was just me and him.
Nice.
And 1 second I look up, we're putting 3 holes away from each other, and then he walks off, and so does all the other 400 people that were sitting there watching him. I was like, we know who they're watching.
There's one thing in the majors is Bryson will always be around,
Yeah, exactly.
Sunrise to
That's
sunset.
where I saw him everywhere that week.
Yeah. What about your time in Forest Highlands in Flagstaff this summer as well? We're kind of a fun event, AJGA. What is it, East versus West? Tell us a little bit about that one. It's part of your summer journey here also.
Yeah, the Windham Cup is so much fun. I think that's the second time I've been to Forest Highlands, and it's kind of sick to say you have one of those bags. You got the blue West bag or the red East bag, and it was that golf course it was beautiful. So many great elevation changes, and the ball just flies for forever. Feels like you're hitting it in space, honestly. But well, there's such a great layout, and playing a team format like that the AJGA does, it's rare that you get to do match play team formats unless you're kind of some of these pros that get to play on some of these higher end teams. And it was a lot of fun, and thankfully the East came out on top. I didn't have my best stuff, didn't really know how far the ball was going, but no, we had a lot of fun, and Forest Highlands was super awesome to us and kind of let us crash the golf course for multiple days. So if I ever get the chance to go back there, that place was beautiful.
Mason, I know a guy that can probably help you if you need
Yeah, we'll get you out there.
He may or may not be on the podcast as well. I want to go back to the U.S. Amateur. I mean, it's my favorite golf event for a reason. It's extremely diabolical. Obviously, a lot of things can happen. You had to survive. What was that? Was it a 17 or 20 for 17 playoff? How many was it?
Yeah, 20 for 17.
Yeah. So was that the next day? Was that Wednesday morning when you did that? Or did they do that on Tuesday night?
Yeah, that was Wednesday morning. So I unfortunately finished my second stroke play round Tuesday morningish midday, And
You have
just
all
had to-
day?
Yeah, just had to sit out there and sweat out refresh. And I clicked refresh so many times. I was like, please no playoff. I don't want to get up at 6 in the morning tomorrow. But 20 for 17, you think you got great odds. And I went out and hit it like 15 feet on the first hole and lipped out and tapped in for par. And I was like, surely that's good enough. Surely 3 people would slide with bogey. But we ended up going another hole, and then I made bogey. And I was like, we're going to have to go another hole. Like this, I keep spinning myself. But fortunately, that bogey was good enough to push me through. And yeah, it was being the 63 seed. It's been kind of my favorite number recently.
Well, and you do that, and then you get in the first round match, and you're 2 down through 2. I mean, again, every time we talk about the winner of the U.S. Amateur, and famously, I mean, Tiger was down in a lot of matches and had kind of those stressful moments. I remember talking to Julie Inkster once about her run in the U.S. Women's Amateur. I think she won 3 straight as well. And, she talked about being on 18T, 1 down in a second round match. But you're 2 down through 2 in the opening round of match play and end up winning that match in 19 holes. Like, can you just talk about the stress of that Wednesday, having the playoff in the morning and then having that match? Like, how close you were to exiting early, well earlier than obviously people thought you might, or obviously, you coming out on top and didn't?
Yeah, absolutely. So I get the playoff. My tee time for the playoff was at 7:42. There were 5 groups of 4, so the playoff took forever. Like I finished and sat there for a good 45 minutes, waiting for the 3 or 4 groups behind me to finish, and just 1 hole. And then when I found out I got through after playing the second hole, we didn't tee off that afternoon until 2 o'clock. So I went back. Yeah, I went back to the Airbnb and took a fat nap. But yeah, we were talking about the whole thing. Is like you're playing the number 6 amateur in the world. Like the worst thing, you just want to get off to a good start, want to get up early. He's gonna have good stuff. And my opening tee shot, I pulled it right into a bush. So I was like, yeah, great way to start. But yeah, I was 2 down through 2. But honestly, I hung in the entire match. I made some good saves to keep that score and never got any worse than that. And clawed my way back on the back 9. And yeah, when we got to when I hit it long on 18 in regulation, we were tied. I was like, that's the one thing you can't do.
Yeah.
But I hit probably one of the best chips I've ever hit in my golf career, and made a good 4-footer. Stressful. No, that was probably the most stressful day of my life with the playoff and then going to 19 holes. But yeah, it was that was a long day, and the USAM was just stressful. There wasn't a match where my heart wasn't going. So it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and compare your experience there with how far the ball was going. Did it go considerably shorter to like your home course there in Georgia, and how did that kind of change over the week with the weather and temperature and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. The weather had played a huge role in it, and there were some days where I felt like maybe I was just losing only like 5 yards compared to at home, but there were some days I was losing like almost a good 20.
Yeah.
Like the Sunday in the championship match, the sun actually came out for a little bit, and I felt like the ball was going way farther than it did all week. But in the semifinal match where I played Eric Lee, it was the first 4 holes the rangefinder wasn't working, so we were stepping things off. He gave me a trip down memory lane back to Oakmont, stepping things off. But yeah, the rangefinder wasn't working. The group in front of us said they were fine with playing, so we kind of had to go along with it. And yeah, the ball was going nowhere. It was like we were like playing in the clouds. Hole 1 and hole 3, our approach shots, we had no idea where they were ending up. But yeah, it was it was fun. It was fun. You had to adjust every day. Some days it was super windy. Some days it was calm. It would get cold. But the weather overall was just unbelievable out there. I never thought I'd be wearing pants and a pullover in the beginning of August. So,
little different when you go to San Fran. Match play very, very different, obviously, than stroke play. I think like the average golfer probably plays a ton of match play in terms of matches against their buddies. When you watch golf on TV, it's almost all stroke play. Got the Walker Cup coming up. Obviously, got the Ryder Cup coming up as well. I just wanted to ask, in terms of mentality, the way you went into these matches, was it an aggressive, play? Were you trying to make birdies and beat guys on holes? Were you playing a little bit more conservative? Kind of how was your mentality throughout the week in terms of that specific way of playing golf?
Yeah, absolutely. My caddy, Jimmy Gillum, he's has such a good mindset for match play, and that's kind of all we were focused on during the week was making match play, because we knew we could make a good run no matter who we played, because it doesn't matter what their seed is, ranking is, once you step up on the first tee, it's 0-0. But yeah, it was crazy. I haven't really told very many people this story, but on the second round of stroke play, like, I was fading pretty quickly. Wasn't having a great back nine, and I get to hole 17, I missed the green, didn't hit a good chip shot, and I had about 20 feet for par. I was at 3 over. That ended up being the playoff. And I made the 20-footer for par, and then made a 5-footer for par on the last hole. So I was just limping home. But yeah, match play. Once I got to match play, it felt like a big weight off my shoulders, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I could go play free. Like, it doesn't matter if you make a 6. It's just one hole. So it's one of those things that you just have to be mentally tough. You got to play a couple little mind games. That's just how match play is. But overall, yeah, I love playing match play. We play it all the time at home, and it's just not a format you get to do often. But if you learn to embrace it a little bit, things will go your way.
At Olympic there, Mason did, I remember I was a standard bearer there, Shane, when in the 98 U.S. Open, the one I think Lee Jansen won, and Payne Stewart had that putt that went up and around. And my brother was in the group where, remember, John Daly's ball came back to him, and he tapped it. He was a standard bearer in that group. But I remember, Mason, it was so cold. But what I remember about, because I was a standard bearer in Corey Pavin's group, and he hit it so short, obviously, but he curved it into all those like tilty fairways. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about like your game. Did in your shot shape with your driver and your irons. Do you play kind of a stock straight to a cut? I've heard. Did you do any shot shaping off the tee? And just how did you approach that? Like both off the tee there at Olympic, as well as like all those hanging lies, uneven lies, uphill shots, and everything. You can't really see that well on TV.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there is a ton of undulation out there. TV does not do it justice. And I feel like a lot of the fairways that were sloped, like the whole property's just pitched one direction. And the wind was also humming down the hill. So every fairway that was left to right, the wind's left to right. If the fairway's right to left, the wind's right to left. So that just made it a little bit tougher. And off the tee, I was hitting a pretty straight to a little fade. And if I needed to hit the fairway, I would tee it down a little bit and play a little bit of a bigger fade. But yeah, but with the irons, it was the complete opposite. I had no fade in the bag with my irons. I don't know what was going on, but honestly, it was good for me. It eliminated one side of the golf course. But yeah, you really, the fairways can be big, but there's some of them that you have to hit it in the 50%, like the left side of one, or if it lands right center, it's going to kick into the rough. There's no first cut. So that made it a little bit more challenging, and I just think that's why Olympic Club has so teeth, because the greens are so small.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you think about the 18th green. I mean, it's just such a sliver. Not a long hole, obviously, but I mean, it's just such a tiny green. And if you miss it, like you said about that last hole in the round of 64, it's like miss the green and you feel like you have to do the best shot of your life to have 4 feet, right? I mean, it's just such an interesting golf course in terms of championship golf. I heard you say it was the best ball striking week of your life. Was there a certain feel or mentality or something you were thinking over the ball that was clicking so well for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like with my irons, I knew that I was going to be a right to left ball flight almost every single time. So that gave me the freedom to just kind of set up a little right and let it do its thing. But with the weather all week and some days being super windy, and some days the greens being super soft, like I didn't find myself like going at very many irons. It was a lot of like 75%, like chip 8 irons, chip 7 irons, which is at home. Like we don't get a lot of wind and the greens stay relatively where the ball just hits and stops, so I'm able to take a pretty big hack at almost every single swing. But yes, staying under control with my golf swing all week, that was something that was huge for me, because that's something I almost struggle with. Sometimes I take too big of a lash at the golf ball.
I mean, you're 18. It's hard being 18 or something, to be fair.
But no, it was that like spin control is so big out there. It's like the whole week, it felt like I was teeing it up on a different golf course every day. Like when I played in my round of 16 match, like the greens were like a tabletop. They were so firm, and it was blowing like 35. And of course, my semifinal match, the ball was going nowhere. The greens were ripping. So it was it was fun. Every match you teed it up, you were getting something different.
I saw you hit a bunch of cool shots, Mason, like those little low spinning wedges, like back pin, send it in there low with a ton of spin. I mean, that seems like kind of a little bit of a weapon in your bag. Is that a shot you've kind of always had, like a little sawed off low skipping wedge?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. I don't like hitting a wedge that lands past the hole and rips back to it. I think that can be a little dicey sometimes. I like to skip, like if it's a back pin, I like to skip it back there and have it grab at the hole. That's a shot that my coach and I, Bill Conley at home, work on. He's not a big fan of me swinging hard sometimes, so he likes those little flighted skippers. Those greens are just perfect for it. So that worked out really well all week.
Were you hitting most of those with your 56 or 60?
Or
58. You play a 58, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I play a 58 degree, and I feel like that I can do anything with that club. I use it all the way around the green. Yeah. Favorite club's probably my putter, even though putting was honestly could have been a little better at Olympic, but my ball striking was good enough that got the job done. But no, that 58 degree, I use it everywhere, every chip. I used my 54 degree a couple times. I found myself like 50 to 60 yard bunker shots, which are no fun. But that 58 degree, that's my weapon around the green. I can feel like I can play it off the back foot and skip it, or if I need to get a little airtime, I'll throw it off the front foot with a pretty big swing.
And Mason, you switched grinds earlier this year, is that right? Like from the B grind to T now?
Yeah, so that's something that I went out there and I went out to Scottsdale and to Ping in January, and that's something Jeff Brown and I really worked on. I kind of had a pretty consistent, just low, like if I ever had a shot around the green, I was always going to go for the bump and run. That just fits my eye, and we wanted something that was a little easier for me to get it up a little quicker, just to kind of open that bag of tricks a little bit. And the tee grind, it's awesome out of bunkers too. My bunker game has improved so much since I got that wedge, and it's been probably one of the greatest things for my short game.
Mason, can you run us through your bag? Like, what do you have in the bag? What'd you have in the bag at Olympic?
Yeah, absolutely. So the driver is the Ping G440 LST. I think it's 10.5.
Yep.
I have it cranked down a little bit, but and then 3-wood G440 Max. I just put in a week before the Ping 3-iron, the IDI. I love that club. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that is probably my favorite driving iron I've ever hit. And then 4-iron through pitching wedge, I have Ping I230s. It's a funny story. My caddy, Jimmy, had wanted me to get rid of my pitching wedge for so long for a 46 degree. And he just thinks that pitching wedge comes off a little too hot and things like that. And so the 46 degree came in yesterday. So we're trying that out. And then all my wedges 50 to 58, 50, 54, and 58 degree or S159s.
Nice.
Which I absolutely love. And then my putter's a Ping Alley Blue 4.
Alley Blue 4. And what's your history with putters before the Alley Blue, and how long's that been in the bag?
Yeah, I've had the Alley Blue for a little over a year. I had a Ping Answer before, PLD. I think it was 2.0 maybe. And I absolutely love that thing. I was using Ping Answers my entire life. I'd had a Ping Answer for 5 years. I just couldn't make myself switch. And one day my dad was on the putting green at my home course. He grabbed the Alley Blue 4 out of the pro shop and was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna get this." And I was like, "Yeah, let me see that. It looks pretty good." So I rolled a couple on the practice greens. I was like, "You mind if I go play 9 with it really quick?" And I haven't looked back. It was a big transition from a blade to that thing, but I absolutely love it.
But
Mason,
before...
you're such a golfer if you're changing clubs after you win a U.S. Amateur. I love that you're changing wedges. It's like, let's accomplish like the biggest thing in amateur golf. And, oh, by the way, let me throw this 46 in. That is, if that's not getting you ready for professional golf, I don't know what is.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always open to change.
Mason, it looked like your pace of play, I mean, for what I could tell, is like, pretty on the brisk side. Has that always kind of been your style of play? I mean, that's just kind of what I observed there during the matches last week.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been a really kind of quicker pace golfer, and I just switched kind of like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I stopped taking practice strokes on putting from inside 5 feet and just kind of made it all feel. But like from anything to like 7 feet now, and I'll take a practice stroke if it's anything that I need to focus on speed a little bit. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of slow golf. But no, I've always played fast golf. The longer I sit there and think about it, the more that I'll play mind games in my head and just overthink it. And yeah, big thing I always think about is you got to trust your first instinct and just go with it. And so that just leaves me less time to double guess myself. Yeah, and just get up there and fire.
You fired at the U.S. Open qualifier. I mean, we talked about you getting into Oakmont. You shot 63-63. Didn't make a bogey, right, for 36 holes?
Yep.
I mean, you talked about best ball striking at the amateur. That had to have been up there as well. I mean, you were co-medalist. I think you shot 18 under par. You opened with 63. You're eating lunch, getting ready for that second 18. Like, where does the mind go to go, let's go just do that again?
Yeah, no, that was an incredible day. Yeah, and I ball struck it really good that day. But I still had some shots that I was like, where did that come from? No, I got off to a really good start that day. I think the first 18 I was 4 under through 5, and the one hole I didn't birdie, I missed a 4-footer. So I got off to a great start, and yeah, I was eating lunch after that. After the first 18, that was the only time I looked at the leaderboard other than until I was done. And we only had like 45 minutes, so I got a hamburger down as quick as I could, and that was the most nervous I've probably ever been on the golf course. I was standing for the first tee shot in the second round, just getting started. Because fortunately, I had played so good the second round that I kind of had a cakewalk coming home. But yeah, no, I still hit. I hit, let's see, hole 16 at Piedmont Driving Club. And the first time I played it, I like pretty much duck hooked the 3-wood. Found a way to make par. The second time I played it, I went 3-wood again and pretty much popped it up, and then found a way to make par. So there were some still questionable shots, but yeah, my putter and short game was pretty dialed that day.
Shane, we need to introduce Mason to the Thriver, man.
I know. It sounds like he might be a big fan of it. Get him ready. Might be able to hit it on 17 at Cypress. We need to get him dialed with the kind of mini ping driver.
Yeah. Mason, what about your ball speed, man? Tell us a little bit about your journey. I mean, I saw you cruising some at 185 or so. Like, what's it been like since you're, 15, 16, 17, now 18? Like, what's that journey been like from a ball speed standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say between ages 16 and 17, I shot up in height. Yeah, and that's been a big thing. I've always had a pretty long swing with a lot of lag, and that helps me generate a lot of speed as well. I'll be honest, like I'm not the most muscular guy out there, but I feel like in golf that you don't really have to be. But yeah, I feel like I've always tried not to swing too hard, because it's one of those things that like you see a guy like I played with Tommy Morrison, and he is, let's see, he's 6'9", I think.
Yeah.
But he had one of the most dialed back golf swings I've ever swung, and he struck it beautifully. So it's one like you can get wrapped up in how far people hit it, but at the end of the day, it's who hits it the straightest. But yeah, recently I've gotten pretty comfortable with swinging at my driver a little harder and being able to shape it more and just hit a little bit more of those kind of fairway finding shots. And if I ever feel like there's a fairway that's pretty wide, I'll go ahead and give it a rip. But yeah, no, it's I've definitely picked up a lot of distance over the last 6 months, and but again, it's all about control.
Are you a like you practice on a TrackMan or any tech, or are you just kind of all play and feel? What's in your toolkit for practicing and training and everything?
Yeah, so I try to keep it pretty feel. But obviously, okay, I've gotten where I have a Foresight launch monitor that I'll go out there and practice with. But I don't use it as much as I probably should. But I've been such a field golfer my entire life that whenever I go out there and practice, I know my swing. I feel like I can tell when I'm doing wrong, even when I'm just standing over the ball or just made a bad swing. But yeah, a practice day for me doesn't always consist of getting out there with the launch monitor and checking the numbers of every single shot.
Mason, you mentioned obviously the Walker Cup. I was listening to you on the Fried Egg podcast today with Andy Johnson, and you said you didn't realize winning the U.S. Amateur got you a spot on the Walker Cup. Obviously, I think everybody in the field at the U.S. Amateur understands if you make the championship match, you're likely going to get the Masters invite to the U.S. Open. But, yeah, when did you find out that the win got you a Walker Cup spot? Was it after the victory?
No, so it was, going into the week, I had no idea. Like, that wasn't on my mind at all. And I think it was after I won my quarterfinal match, maybe my round of 16. I can't remember. I heard somebody came up to me and said, like, if you win, you get on the Walker Cup, right? And I was like,
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
More pressure.
Yeah, that's like when the caddy's like, there is out of bounds left. And you're like, I didn't see it. Don't tell me that.
Going straight left. No, but it was, so that gave, that finals match, if you get runner-up, it comes with so much. That was what makes that semifinal match so stressful. But obviously, there's still so much more to play for in that finals match. And, that was one thing I really wanted to win to get a spot on the Walker Cup. And so we set out, and we were hungry for it. And, I was just proud to get it done that day because it's not an easy day because by the end of it, you will have played 11 rounds of golf in 9 days.
Mason, have you been to Augusta? Have you attended, and how much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, so I went to the Wednesday practice round in 2019 with my dad, and that place
pretty
is
good Masters
unbelievable.
that year.
Yeah, it was okay, I guess. No, but it was that place looks like it's just like copy and pasted, some AI generated. It looks unbelievable. Yeah. I've played Augusta Country Club a couple times in Georgia State Am, and you just look through and it's like, how is that like even possible?
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for that. Obviously, I still got to wait on the invite, but if I get the opportunity to play, that's going to be probably my best golf memory ever.
So I need to ask about this hat you're wearing because I heard that this is like a superstitious hat or your lucky hat or whatever. It's a trucker hat and you wear it all the time. I mean, is this like, are you wearing it every match during the amateur? I mean, is this a hat that you don't take off? Do you have other Ping hats? What's the story with this thing?
I apologize. I have way too many Ping hats in my room that still have the stickers on them. But second round of stroke play, I changed hats and I did not play well. And I was like, I'm going back to my trucker hat. And it was I've always worn this hat. This is probably like my 8th or 9th one of these because they just get so faded. I love navy. This is my color, and we've got quite a few of these navy trucker hats.
It's funny, all the golfers with their superstitions, huh, Shane? Like,
we all got them.
Amazing.
We all got them. What else you got, Mason? What else you do that's like superstitious on the golf course? Ball marker, heads up, tails down. What do you do?
Yeah, so if I'm not putting good, if I'm using a quarter not putting good, I'll use heads, and then I'll get to. I'm so in my head about it. It's so bad. Say I make a putt on heads. The next hole, sometimes I'll do tails just to see if I need to flip-flop them. But if I miss it on tails, I know that's not the order I need to stick in. So it's one of those things I definitely need to not have that in my head. But it's just something to keep my mind off overthinking things.
Yeah, I understand that. Marty, do you have something? I've never asked you that. Do you have something weird you do during tournament golf or whatever that's superstitious?
Yeah, no, I use a divot fixer. I've used literally every round since college. Like it's super sharp. Like I have to be careful with it because it's probably fixed to, 10,000 pitch marks.
Have you ever nicked the hand before going in your pocket?
No,
got the pencil stab?
Yeah, yes, it's very similar to the pencil stab. But
if I tried to hold on to something like that, it would be long gone by now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love that. I've been doing my son, my oldest was born 6/4/19. I've used a 1964 quarter since he was born that I think is kind of cool.
Love it.
He tried to take it the other day, by the way, because I'm pretty diligent about putting it back in my bag when I finish, and I had it in my pocket after the round. He's like, "Can I have your quarter, Dad?" I was like, You can have anything I got in my life. You can't have that quarter. That's like my only thing I actually truly want to keep where it needs to be. But yeah, superstitions are funny, man. Mason, maybe when you get to Georgia, they'll break you out of that at some point.
Yeah, well, I guess when I get to Georgia, I'm gonna have to switch up the hats too. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, good point. Maybe a navy. Yeah, I have to get like a navy Georgia hat, which will be awkward.
Yeah, which unfortunately red, black, and navy
Doesn't look good.
doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. So we'll figure something out. We'll have to find a new lucky one.
Mason, what other sports you play growing up? Assuming you're just all golf now, but any other sports? And when, if you're all golf now, assuming that, like, when did you kind of go all in and specialize?
Yeah, so I'd say right now, definitely golf and pickleball. Pickleball, we go with our buddies at the club, and we play all the time. But yeah, actually the day before I left for the AM, I went and played pickup basketball. Probably not the smartest thing to do. But yeah, I played basketball throughout middle school. That was kind of something I grew up playing. And then I actually played competitive tennis till I was 12, 12, I think. Yeah, my dad played tennis in college, so I kind of grew up playing tennis and golf. And I tried everything. I played football, I played baseball. But, yeah, I'd say I focused on tennis and golf the most. And once I got through middle school, I started really focusing on golf. And I stopped basketball just because one of those things in the winter, like I get out of practice at 5:30 and it's already dark.
Yeah.
There's no time for golf. So
Yeah.
No, you don't want to be doing that. Though I will say this. I mean, you are in rarefied air. I believe in '97 during the Masters when Tiger won by $1 million. I think he played pickup hoops one of those days, and Butch got onto him. I think there was a story where Butch was like, "What are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
you're winning this thing by $1 million. Don't jam a finger."
yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but we were down when I went. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
When I went to school in Florida, we were at our state championship, and I was still in middle school. I was playing on the varsity team, and we were like, there was, I guess you take 5 or 6 to the state championship, and we were like, yeah, there's a hoop in the parking lot. Let's go play. And our coach like pretty much bolted up our doors. So I was like, absolutely not.
Do not do that, please, for the love of God. You fish as well, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fishing is something I do all the time. Fortunately, down here in
Like
South-
bass fishing or what?
Yeah, bass fishing. There's a bunch of little ponds and lakes around here, and I'll go with a lot of my buddies. A lot of us have little John boats with little motors on them, and we'll go out and we'll try to catch as many as we can. And that's something that my parents probably are mad at me for, because I'll stay out way past I'm supposed to. It'll still be dark, and I'm like, one more cast. Yeah, I love fishing. I just love being outdoors in general.
Are you a golf course, lake, pond fisherman?
Oh yeah, I played. Let's see, in April I played the Terracotta Invitational Am down in Naples, Florida. And after my second round, I think we had a group of like 5 of us that went back out to the golf course, and we caught some of the biggest bass I think I've ever seen in my life. That's where you got to find them. The golf course. Golf course is one of the good ones.
Mason, is it weird being back in high school? I mean, you kind of go through this whole journey, and now obviously, you probably tick off something that maybe you didn't think was going to be attainable maybe until you're 19, 20, 21 years old in college. Has this been weird, like going back into this world after, I mean, you're doing national media and you're doing all this stuff. Like, is it strange being back there, like at a desk?
Yeah, it kind of stinks, I'm going to be honest. But, no, I started, Wednesday was my first official day of school, a week and a half late, so we're already starting behind the 8 ball.
Atta baby.
Yeah, we're getting it done. Fortunately, I went pretty easy on myself and took a pretty easy schedule this year, but I'm still in school from 8 to 3 every day, but it gives me such a healthy balance. Like, I'm able to hang out with my friends at school, then after school I can focus on my golf. But I feel like if I was playing golf all day, every day, I would just wear myself down, because that's just how golf is.
After school, are you a range rat? Do you play? Do you do the little putting routine? What's your average week like? Next couple of weeks practicing.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to get out on the golf course. Fortunately, at Glenarvan, during the weekdays we have the ability, like even if it's just going out on the golf course and dropping some balls and hitting different shots. But Glenarvan has such a good junior program that there's always people to play with out there. So almost every day after school, I'm playing 9 holes, and then we're going to the back of the range, and I'm having putting contests with my friends. And then some days I'll just want to be alone and get some stuff done on my own. But honestly, I'm not the biggest range rat. I feel like sometimes you can work yourself into bad habits just sitting there hitting range balls. And I find that my game gets a little bit better whenever I'm working on the golf course.
Shane, it's kind of interesting watching Mason play the AM. I could kind of tell that. Like I would have guessed that with just your shot shaping, your sawed-off shots, your low wedges. Really, really fun to watch. You kind of have that style, like you just spent a lot of time playing golf, hitting shots, right?
Yeah, I mean, on the range, you're hitting the same shot over and over again. And on the golf course, every time you hit a shot, it's something different. So I just kind of like, even if it's just going out there and dropping a ball and being like, get this up and down, or just dropping a ball kind of semi-blocked out by a tree and it's like, shape it around this tree.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that you just have to kind of play mental games. But yeah, and my coach has always said that he feels like you can just work yourself into so many bad habits by just pumping range balls all the time.
Yeah, street smarts is what I call it. You kind of got book smarts, if you're on the range just hitting 7-iron after 7-iron. And if you go out there and actually hit golf shots, it's a little bit more street knowledge, where you're like, I actually know how to hit this shot. I've hit this one before. Obviously, I know you're excited about going to Georgia. You're headed there next year. I heard you mention you've had a lot of Georgia jerseys over the years. Do you have a favorite Georgia jersey you've had in your 18 years of life? Is there like a quarterback jersey or basketball jersey you've had that was maybe you wore it the most, or was it your favorite player coming up?
Yeah, I actually had one that I really liked like 2 years ago. Then the guy transferred. I was like, what are we doing? This dang transfer portal. But no, growing up, I was always a big like Sony Michel guy.
Yeah.
And he's had a great career in the NFL, but he was the number one. So liked having the number one. But yeah, I love getting up to Athens and going to the games. I can't wait for some of them this fall. I'm just ready for football season to start. College football is the best.
Mason, you got any advice, man, for maybe kiddos out there that could be listening, 12, 13, 14, 15, that are kind of thinking about like maybe playing a few different sports, thinking about going all in on golf? What tips, tricks, or advice would you give them, based on your experience here the last few years?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say like biggest thing is just don't wear yourself down. Like there's no like go have fun with your friends. Go take some time off. There's no need to make yourself play every single day and take the fun out of it. Because my coaches and my dad especially, he's so big on telling me that if you're not having fun, it's not going to translate to good golf. Everything's just going to get worse. And so I've always tried to keep a really positive mindset on the golf course too. And that's what's so good is to go find, like I would say to kids coming up and trying to play competitive and maybe trying to play collegiate golf.
Yep. Is
go find yourself a good group of friends to play with every single day. And I think that's the biggest thing. And golf can be boring. You can make it boring, and you can make it you can make it too hard on yourself. Is how I'd put it. So I just think, and everybody says go have fun, make it fun, but I just think there's different levels to that. And yeah, so that's one thing. I've been super blessed to have such a good group of players to play with at Glenarvan, and we've all made each other better. But it's just one of those things that you the second you get down on yourself in this game, it's hard to bounce back. It takes time, but yeah, just keeping a smile on your face is the biggest thing you can do.
Love it.
Yeah, Mason, it's been great chatting with you, man. I'm a fan. I loved watching you play. Excited to see what you can do. Schedule the rest of the year. I know you got Walker Cup. You got any other big events coming up? I mean, are you playing high school golf as well? I mean.
Yeah,
high school what's those matches look like?
Yeah, high school golf's in the spring, so that's gonna be weird to take a break for Augusta right in the middle of my high school season.
You know what? I'm assuming the coach will understand, but yeah, like what other big events or what other stuff do you have on the calendar?
Yeah, so after Walker Cup, I'm playing on the World AM team. We're heading to Singapore which will be
Nice.
awesome. Never been to Asia before, so that'll be awesome. And then really the rest of the fall, I don't have anything. Maybe the Jones Cup at Ocean Forest and Sea Island in January. Weather's probably going to be miserable there. But yeah, just a lot of amateur tournaments, and obviously things die down a little bit when the collegiate players get back in session. But yeah, it'll be good to have a little bit of time off. I've been hitting it pretty hard recently, and gonna go have some fun with friends. I still got like homecoming to go to. We'll have prom in the spring, so it's still got to live out my senior year.
Senior year's fun, man, and then you get to go to Georgia and have even more fun playing a little bit of college golf. Program there is pretty dialed. I feel like Andy said to you on the pod, every time you flip on the first page of a PJ Tour leaderboard, you see a couple of Georgia G's there, and I think that will continue. Congrats, man! I mean, what an accomplishment. I know the Havemeyer's just off camera. You said you got it yet? Did you get it yesterday in the mail?
I got it like 2 hours ago in the mail.
2 hours ago. So cool. That's like. I think both the amateur trophies, the Cox Trophy for the Women's AM and the U.S. Amateur Trophy, are the two coolest in all of golf. So congrats again. We really appreciate the time. Have a great senior year. Enjoy prom. Enjoy Cypress. Enjoy Augusta. Enjoy Shinnecock. And we look forward to seeing you play a little bit of collegiate golf coming up.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That is Mason Howell. That's Marty Jertson. This is the Ping Proving Grounds Podcast.